Hello, my convicts and convict heads. Just decided to convict, bringing you guys and gals a new type of video. So we're going to start doing some stuff called Kappa reacts, and that's what we're going to start calling this segment. And do some reactions and do a bit like a reaction channel, kind of do some reactions to some things. And yeah, I want to start off today with some Call of Duty. So we're going to jump into Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3's trailer. We're going to have a look into it. Now, I have muted the audio because it does play Eminem. And unfortunately, obviously, that get me demonetized. So I'm just going to play. There's going to be no sound. But we will talk a little bit about it. And we'll come back to it. So watch the whole thing through. And then we'll come back and we'll go through it again. So here we go. Okay. Right, there we go. So that's the full trailer. I've done this in 4K as well, so it will be kind of 4K. It'll still be doing it in 1080, but you get the idea. I've put it up in 4K so you get the best visuals possibly for this. So as you can see here, the beta is going to start on 8th of October, and that's for PlayStation 5 systems, and then obviously later on. Now, obviously, I don't have PlayStation 5, so I'll have to wait till the time when they allow for obviously the other platforms to get it. So I won't get a chance. I'll get to see people play it beforehand, but not really get a chance to play it myself, which is kind of a bummer. I really wish we would go away from this exclusive idea of this platform's got the exclusive and they get to have that, 5 days or whatever before other people get it. It's kind of dumb. It really is kind of dumb, but it is what it is. I've never liked it, whether I've been on PlayStation, Xbox, or any platform. So it's something I've never agreed to. I've never thought was, specifically warranted. So there you go. I think all games should run on all platforms. I don't think there should be any exclusives. I've never felt like there should be any type of exclusivity. Because at the end of the day, it's taking away from the actual developer and not actually, from the people who want to play the games. Simple as. Anyway. We're digressing. So let's go back into it. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below of the trailer. Did you think it was a good trailer, a bad trailer? Let me know what you think in the comments below. So I'm going to talk a bit about a couple of things here. So as we go back through, you can see some of the maps here. We've got this interesting kind of blur effect that I've got currently at the moment just for the trailer, obviously. I've heard from news that all the guns in the game are going to have black market afterparts, which is kind of an interesting take. So basically what they mean by that is you could have a pistol, but it can actually be converted by black market afterparts which there is another video for that, which we may do a reaction on. We can change a pistol into an SMG, and you can change other guns into different guns. So there's going to be a lot of variation where you're going to be able to change a gun from what it is and change it into something else with these black market afterparts, which is kind of interesting. So we've got, obviously, some of the maps here. You can see airport. Obviously, all the OG maps. Let me know what you think. Do you actually think this game should launch with just old maps? Me, personally, I wanted to see something new. This is, you know, all the people complaining about the DLC, or this being a DLC kind of game, where they've just basically, they've screwed up Warzone or Warzone 2, and now they're just bringing out some DLC to try and make it better. And then they've said, no, it's not now DLC, it's a full game, but yet they're using old maps from the games, and then they've just kind of revamped them a little bit, and then they've obviously added in some extra things as well. The Sledgehammer said that they've, obviously because of the new movement system and everything, and certain things that you can mantle and that now, and obviously the way the movement works, they've had to make some changes to adjust to those movement mechanics. Obviously, then that people will be able to play the game properly, and it won't be breaking the game, because obviously the way that the maps were designed before, you couldn't do mantling or anything like that. So obviously that made sense for those games to be in that way, but now they've got mantling and everything, climbing. That's going to change a lot of the dynamics of the maps, that you'll reach areas that you're not supposed to, and they'll have to obviously now tweak those areas to make them work that a little bit better. A little bit better. Got another map. Other maps here. I don't know the full names. This one's high rise, as you can see here, with a helicopter. Apparently the Easter egg of the broken thing is going to be there as well, so you can still get on top of the building. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but there's the broken... someone showed a picture of it with the broken rail for the window cleaners, and you can get on top of that, and there is a way you can get on top of the building. Hopefully it's not too easy, because otherwise it's going to be just annoying, and people camp on this all the time. Used to camp up on these all the time, so I'm hoping they're easy to get past. Sorry about that. Someone it's recording now. Sorry about that. Right. So yeah, people used to camp on top of them all the time. Really, really annoying to camp on these, like the high up ones and stuff. So kind of annoying. Hopefully that's not too easy to do. Obviously vehicles are going to be in the game, so that's going to be an interesting take. Got the operators here. Now this is another thing that I've seen a lot. You'll see in this video quite often. Is a lot of these operators now, they've put in a lot of camos and stuff that are quite outlandish. You've seen, like, later on in the film, later in the trailer, there's actually a cartoon gun that actually shoots like a cartoon. So the fire coming from it is like a cartoon, and it's like an animated gun. Like he's just gone into a cartoon, pulled a gun out of a cartoon and running around with it. Interesting. I don't mind them. I like that kind of thing. I said it for Farlight, even though it was a mobile game, would I still enjoy it, and I enjoyed it. Even though it had outlandish camos and stuff and things like that for it as well. I don't mind camos. I think what they should do though is do like a PUBG kind of thing, where there's a toggle switch, where you can either toggle it on or toggle it off. So those who want vanilla, which is just basically just base operators without these... without seeing Spawn and, you know, all these other people and Tomb Raiders and whatever, or Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg's kind of thing, because they're going to also transfer over to Modern Warfare 3 as well. Even Spawn and that we've currently got at the moment, which is the only reason why I bought it. But there should be like a little toggle switch where you can pick up. Also, there should be like a toggle for guns as well. So you can have like two different things where if you pick up a gun, it applies your camo to that gun, instead of keeping the gun's camo that the other person's got. Maybe you've got a specific camo you really enjoy using, but you hardly get to use it. And picking up another gun is really cool, so you always get to see your camo. Operators, maybe they should have like a toggle switch for that, so you can do it, so you can either choose to see people running around as the pre-applied cosmetic that they put on, or have it where you can put it back to vanilla so you only see the default version of that character, so that if there's anyone out there who has a specific dark skin, like this guy, if they took all the green and stuff off him, it'd be very, very hard to see. And maybe his default skin is wearing shorts and a white t-shirt. You know, if people want to set it to vanilla and not see him as that, and see him as his default character, I think you should be able to do that as well. PUBG can do it, and it's pretty easy to do because it doesn't apply, it doesn't affect the client. It's more of a server side thing. It's just making the server produce that hologram. Because when you're playing the game, the client's sending information to like a hologram on the server, and that is you. So it can easily apply and make sure that that person, when they're looking at you, is only seeing you as obviously your default skin if they don't want to have these crazy, wacky cosmetics stuff in game. So I think that should definitely be a thing, but we'll see if that's going to be the case. What I'll do, if I skip it by each time, you can see different things. Can I slow that down a bit? Got gun here. This is what I'm trying to show you, the guns. Got the gun there. That operator skin is pretty cool. I kind of like that. Can't remember the name of this one, but it looks very, very chaotic. Very, very chaotic. Is it favela? Is that what they call this one? I can't remember. Like I said, I can't remember. There's going to be doors apparently in the game as well. I don't mind the doors. Doors are doors. You know, I don't see it being that much of a problem, to be honest. As long as you could shoot through doors and kill people. If they're, you know, camping behind doors, that's fine. Good old sniper. SMG there. Now this is obviously execution. Not too sure if that's part of the execution where he jumps back up there, but maybe it's some that's on there. I don't know. There's a drone here, so they've got recon drones in the game. I can not remember the name of this one, but obviously we know this one with the plane, the down plane that they even brought out into Black Ops Cold War. This particular map, I don't think I was a big fan of. I wasn't like a huge fan of it because everyone would just either be camping in the plane or be camping in the sides and shooting the plane. So we've got this one. Some of the skins here you can see of the characters, and a bit of the sliding mechanic there in shooting and dual wielding. It's kind of weird as well. I've seen someone with the black market after parts where you can actually dual wield 2 SMGs and shoot them. So there's going to be dual handling weapons. There's one of the skins. That looks pretty cool with the chainmail and the skull mask. Pretty cool. There's one of the masks, there's the other one. Then we've got this weird, like, almost looks like, not Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell. That's what I was trying to think of. Splinter Cell with the night vision kind of goggles. A bit more, and then it's got some sort of rocket. Obviously swimming. A lot of the maps, this is kind of weird though, how they're going to introduce swimming into this kind of game, because all the maps that were made weren't designed with swimming. So I'm assuming there probably won't be a great deal of swimming to be done, unless you're on sub base, I guess. But maybe they'll incorporate it somehow. We've got a little vehicle here. I'm not a big fan of this vehicle at the moment. Even in Modern Warfare 2, when you use it in the multiplayer, it's terrible. You put it on auto mode, it just stands there like a sentry. It's boring. Unless you control this yourself, it's not particularly that good. And even when you're shooting people, it takes quite a few shots to take them down. And it can, the controls of the vehicle is really, really bizarre as well, how it controls. And when you take your finger off the trigger, you still move forward a little bit. So I end up bumping into a lot of stuff, trying to turn around. And it's slow to turn. So it's not bad for Streak, but I'm not a huge fan of them. There's a good old shotgun, and he's got a rocket launcher on his back. He's got like a little animation there. Twizzling his knife. You can see. Execution. Some of the camos to the guns. Go back a bit. Let's have a look at those. There you go. Some of the camos to the guns. I don't mind camos as long as they're good. I wish they'd go more like mobile. If you've seen a mobile version of Call of Duty, some insane camos. And one that is the Flying Dutchman. You can see the cannons and it shoots cannonballs like it's in a fight. Really, really interesting. And you can see all the ship moving as it's in your hands. It's kind of nuts. They should incorporate that more into this because that would be pretty insane. Have some really, really cool guns. Does have insane camos. And another person wearing weird looking, looks like chainmail. Can you imagine that and then that gun, the same as the chainmail one, or the same aesthetic? And as you can see here, I think this one has got some sort of effect to it. Or unless that's just part of the trailer. The good old terminal. Okay. He's launched an EMP. The bomb drones. And the EMP obviously takes out the jets. That I'm kind of a bit against the EMP. It's going to be kind of annoying. Because that Streak, in particular, the VTOLs and that, they take so long. It's like Modern Warfare 2 right now, at the moment. When you play the game and you call in a VTOL, if everybody plays correctly, how you would engage a VTOL or the gunship or the... not gunship, because you can't shoot that, but the VTOL, the chopper, that follows you around and stuff. I have literally called them in, sweated my nuts off, got the VTOL and or the chopper in or whatever, and they've been shot down within seconds. Like, not even more than 2 seconds, they've been shot down and destroyed. And you can imagine how long it took me to get that Streak in and then to have it shot down. And for this game to particular have an EMP, and you guarantee that most people, or a lot of the people, are going to be carrying that EMP. So as soon as you call it in, VTOL incoming, boom, boom. You've just, how many kills have you got? And now you've lost it? I don't know how I feel about that, but I just don't think these, especially big streaks that you've taken so long and you've had to not die, like 12 kills in a row without dying, and then you get it, comes in, and then it's now gone. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan. So here we're going to see some sliding. Interesting sliding. So it is controlled. Show it again. So it's pretty controlled. It doesn't seem to be as long. It's quite short slide. And it won't refill either. It refills over time. So you can constantly do it. It's not going to be one of those kind of things where you have to stop and then move again. As long as you keep moving, it'll refill itself. So it's like on a refill meter, a bit like the thrust meter in Black Ops 3, where you thrust and you've run out of thrust. It will charge up again over time. So you don't have to keep on thinking, oh, I've got to stop. Now I can go and do my attack sprint again. It's going to recharge again and again and again over time. But it won't be like the old way where you could manipulate the slide and then cancel it and then slide again, slide again, slide again, slide again, slide again, sort of thing. It'll have a recharge time. So you'll be able to do it once, maybe twice. And then after that, you're going to have to wait for a moment for it to recharge before you can slide again. So there's going to be brief times where you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to have people sliding left, sliding right, sliding left, sliding right, and then killing you, because you won't be able to do that, because it doesn't obviously recharge upon the end of it. It recharges while you're moving. So it's going to be something you're going to have to wait maybe a second or so for it to start to recharge, and then you'll be able to use it again. And obviously if it's probably not full, you're not going to be able to do a full slide. It's going to be shorter. So, but then there are gear in this game. So how the perks work in this game now is going to be gear. So from boots to gloves to helmets, stuff like that, backpacks probably. There's going to be different things on your character that you pick certain things or allow you to do certain things. Like gloves will allow you to ADS faster. They'll be able to help you to drop shot quicker or shoot sooner while drop shotting, stuff like that. So there's going to be lots of like different things for the gear sets that's going to actually influence how you play the game. And here is the other type of aim. They've said that there's going to be 3 types of aiming. Obviously, you've got your normal hip fire where you just fire from the hip. There's going to be aiming down sight, but there's also now the turning to the side, which they do have in Modern Warfare 2 at the moment. If you put on the canted green laser, that you can always see, or if you play the night map, I hate the night map, by the way. The night map, you'll see you've got that green laser and the tilt the guns to the side. You can actually do that in the game. So you'll be able to transition from either hip fire to the sideways or full ADS. And the sideways is going to be apparently much better for like close quarters situations or situations where you're going to be quick and you bump into someone. You can use this to take them out. And it's going to be apparently pretty good. It's going to be an extra level of clearing an area and not having to fully ADS. Be able to just part, do this, and then hack stance, whatever it's called, and do that. There's going to be ledge hang. There's going to be ledge hang. Apparently, they have increased the ledge hang. They've shown that in games, you'll now instantly mantle over stuff, and you won't be stuck, because one of the biggest problems is obviously animations and how long an animation takes to play. When you go from the side, jumping up, grabbing onto something, there is an animation time that you've got to go through. Now, I've been doing a lot of Unreal Engine stuff and messing about with making my own game, which I've not done for a while yet. I do need to get back on board of doing that. But there is a lot of times where you do an animation, it takes so many seconds between the animation to complete it before obviously you can do something else, sort of thing. And you can shorten it or increase it, but it can be one of those things that gets you killed. So they said that there is a fast animation. There is a video on, I think it's High Rise, where they're showing you mantle over, and it's like instantly mantling over. But it seems like there is an option to mantle if you want to. I'm assuming you'll probably be able to turn that on and off far in the settings. We've got this Team 1, Team 2, Team 3, so they may have a game mode where you're in a smaller team. Rust. Not a big fan of Rust. Let's go back just a second. We've got this animation here where he's shooting down the floor. I'm assuming that's... I wonder if that's an emote. I wonder if they're adding emotes to the game. I wonder if this is an emote. Because I know Jeff was talking about it. It's like, what's that? Is that like an assassination thing? You know, you assassinate and it's going and then blowing the end. Or I wonder if that's an emote. I wonder if they're adding emotes into the game where you can, ching, 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 you know, you kill somebody, and you go ding, 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 and then blow your gun and say, yeah, I just, you know, whooped you. There you go. That'd be interesting. I would like them to do some sort of like hand gesture or emotes. That'd be pretty cool. There's that crazy chainmail outfit again. It looks good. It does look good. Very, very silver. Some of the vehicles here. There's that tank thing. There's that skin again, the green skin that you saw before. There you go. That's the side of it. And tank. I wonder if this is War Games. I think it's called War Games. Where you gotta get the tank over and then it blows rocket. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not. And here's the cartoon gun. Look, this is the gun I'm talking about with the cartoon gun. Looks like he's got it straight out of a comic. Which looks really good. That actually aesthetically looks really good. And you can see how when it shoots, I can catch it. Can I catch it shooting? You can see, look, the bullet there of it hitting something. Let's go back a bit further. Can we catch you shooting? There we go. Got like that weird comic vibe of when you shoot it. Which looks pretty cool. Another execution. And there you go. So, tell me what you think. What do you think of the game, Modern Warfare? I actually think it looks pretty good. There you go. Right here. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I think the setup of the way they've done it is really good as well. I'm hoping Sledgehammer does a good job. Now, I'll be honest. I'm a very, very blunt and honest person, right? So let me just be clear here. I'm a very, very blunt and honest person. I always have been, always will be like that. So if you ever want blunt honesty, here it is. So for me personally, I think it's not bad. I think it's not bad. I do think it's more like a DLC and they've kind of emphasized the real game. For me, Sledgehammer was probably as bad as Infinity Ward. I absolutely hated Sledgehammer as much as Infinity Ward. The only really developer I ever enjoyed playing games from was Treyarch. And unfortunately, they've lost Vonderhaar at the moment. So we'll see how Treyarch develop now as a company. Was really good. And obviously not having Vonderhaar anymore. I think, though, with World War II, we think back to World War II when Sledgehammer obviously changed over, and it was the higher ups that got changed. I actually feel like World War II actually got better, a lot better than what it used to be, because it used to be terrible. And then now, if you go back to it now, there's absolutely an abundance of different perks you can use. Tons of different things you can use in the game. Now, unfortunately, the maps just weren't very good. There's a lot of maps that were absolutely terrible in that game. And one being Gustav Cannon, which just did not make sense at all. Having like buildings at each side and then stupid weapon in the middle that you just climb up and everyone just hides on and shoots at you from afar. Really boring, really open area, and you can't really move around too much. But they seem to come back, and obviously that was at the point where they were still under obviously someone else, and then now they've changed over hands and got the new higher ups that take charge. They actually made a really good job of World War II. So I definitely recommend trying it out and having a look, because the amount of perks they've got in that game now is insane. The amount of different perks and things you can do with that is nuts to what it used to be before. So that's kind of one thing I would like maybe for Sledgehammer to take across, is to give us as many different perk variations as possible, like they did with World War II, so that you can just completely have an abundance of perks Like there was one for can't remember what you call it. Not assault. Commando. They had perks. They added perks into World War II for Commando, stuff like that. I like them to go crazy with that kind of thing and just bring in insane different perks that do weird and wonderful stuff. Some that are like silly, and others that are very practical, but very, very unique as well. So let's hope that that ends up being a part of Modern Warfare 3. That would be really, really awesome if they did that. Other than that, I think my estimate has now changed. It's gone more like Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and obviously the very last being Infinity Ward. Because Infinity Ward don't listen, nor do they care half the time. So this is hence why Sledgehammer's had to take over and fix your crap game. Well done, Infinity Ward. You've made being probably the worst developer, which we've always kind of considered them being the worst developer all throughout the whole time, to being far worse and being probably the lowest of the low. If it was up to me, I'd just get completely rid of Infinity Ward, of the higher ups, not of the developers, because it's not the developers that choose the project's layout. It's the higher ups that do that. Get rid of the higher ups and just disband Infinity Ward's team amongst the other groups now, and just have maybe someone else. Maybe have Raven as one. They've got someone else as well, I believe. They've got another studio that actually works on the games as well. So you could have like Raven as a studio, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch. And if there is another group, I'm sure there is. I can't remember the name though. Then you could add them as a new one maybe, and maybe cycle it across 4 teams rather than 3. But apparently we're going into the 2-year cycle as well, once Microsoft has finished their transaction, because it has been said that they have completed the transaction now. They definitely will be buying the studio, so we'll see how that fares and changes. Just hoping that doesn't change too much for PlayStation across Microsoft, because again, you're only losing out. If you're pulling the game away from PlayStation just to be on Microsoft, I just think that's kind of silly. Just leave it where it is. Just let everyone enjoy the game for what it is, and just reap the rewards that obviously you own that company. I just don't know, obviously, what's going to happen with that. So we'll soon see whether or not PlayStation end up having to make their own game, take over this one, and they make this an exclusive. I don't know. For me, it's not going to affect me because I'm on PC anyway. So, but yeah, kind of suck if they do that to PlayStation. Obviously, not straight away, but in a few years' time down the line, when PlayStation's contract ends, that they've already made with Activision themselves. So we'll soon find out. Anyway, let me know what you think of this trailer. I actually think it looked pretty good. I'm looking forward to the skins, characters, and stuff like that. The movement does look a lot better. As long as the time to kill is good and the aiming is good, and it's not all bogged down to I slide in a situation I can't aim as quick, so I just lose out. For me, I would like games to kind of go back to basics though, because one thing is going to really probably mess up this game, if anything, is either going to be the different damage profiles for the guns are going to be able to manage that. Then you've got these black market afterparts. What is that going to affect, and how is that going to affect weapons damage and stuff and things like that? You've got to try and keep on top of that to keep it, in its place. And then amongst attachments. So it's a lot of things to kind of always look into. For me, I think personally all guns should have the exact same time to kill. They should have varying in like sound and fire rates, but it should still reach the same exact time to kill as each and every other gun. The only difference that should ever happen for guns that I feel should be a thing is ranges, obviously for guns, and that should be the only like difference between one gun and another. There shouldn't be anything that does particularly more damage to a certain limb that makes it you know, stupid. The same with high caliber. I've never been a big fan of high caliber, and the fact that when you recoil up and you shoot someone in the head, so you could be shooting them in the crotch, and because there's that much recoil, you recoil up like this, and it ends up hitting them in the head, and then you insta kill them. So you have that jarring experience of you're winning that fight, you're doing really well, but you're penalized because as soon as you shoot that person and they're shooting, they spring to the headshot and kill you instantly, and you're like, how did I just die there? What the hell was that? I shot first, I shot him way before he fired at me. Oh, it's because he springs up and he accidentally shoots me in the head. So for me, I've said it quite a lot, and I've echoed it continuously. If you're going to add anything that feels kind of like high caliber, make it so that high caliber only works if you shoot the first bullet into the head. Reward the people who are accurate, that shoot you in the head first, then if they shoot you in the body, whatever, then class it as high caliber. Never class it as high caliber if someone's shooting you in the toe and they accidentally spring to a headshot, and then you're penalized because you shot them and they then recoil to a headshot. Just doesn't make sense, but yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think. I actually think it's going to be probably a decent game. I'm looking forward to it. I've not pre-ordered it as of yet. If you do pre-order the game, I would probably recommend pre-ordering through Amazon, because Amazon won't take money off of you. They will basically give you the code, you get to play the beta, and then you can actually cancel your pre-order. So I think that is the best way to do this if you're going to get this game, or consider to look at it when the beta comes out on the 8th of October, is to pre-order it on Amazon, get your code, and then try it. If you don't like it, cancel your pre-order, and so on and so forth. Obviously, for me, I'm going to get it anyway, probably, because I'm just stupid. But I kind of, like I said, throughout the time of obviously seeing what they did with World War II and how they managed to change it around, and obviously what they did with it. I know they did do Vanguard, and I didn't like Vanguard, but I think that was that not at a time where they were having to rush to do Vanguard? They had to kind of like butcher it together because they didn't want it supposed to be someone else that was supposed to be doing Vanguard, and it got messed up. I don't know. I can't remember if it was that or if it was the case it was their game. I don't know, but I think there was some problem during the development of Vanguard, and that's what kind of messed it up. So I think it's something in between that, a bit like what Treyarch had to do when they did Black Ops 4, and when they ended up doing Cold War, they kind of got thrown into it under the bus, and it's like, you just got to make a game, and they had to kind of throw crap together and see if it sticks, sort of thing, rather than properly developing. And you'll see a proper developed game in 2024, obviously because Treyarch had the full time now to work on that game and obviously get it out there. So you'll see a pure Treyarch game next year on 2024. And I'm looking definitely forward to that. I definitely will be buying Treyarch's game next year, regardless of how this one plays out. So let me know what you think. And yeah, this has been Kappa Reacts. Hopefully enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Maybe even consider joining. It's just $1.99, gives you access to emotes, badges, giveaways, and charity work in the future. So if you want to help support that, hit the join button. And don't forget, if you do hit the notification bell, hit it back to back 2 times. And make sure it's set to all, so you get any videos or anything I ever post, it will actually come up in your feed, and it'll prompt you that I posted or put a video up there. So if you want to do that, don't forget to check and make sure your notifications set to all, otherwise you won't get all my videos. Anyway, this is the Camp Convict signing out. As always, I salute you, my convicts, convicts. I salute to you, my elite convicts, those who have joined for the $1.99. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for your continued support and helping the channel. And big thank you to everyone who has done a recent donation to the channel. I appreciate it. It really does help to obviously continue and put more things on the table in all things Kappa related. Salute to you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all. And yeah, hopefully enjoyed this Kappa Reacts, and bye for now.